everything you own should not be 100% yours. If not, you don't have a brand. Your brand is not influential. You do, yes.
It's everything you do is just on you.
It's not that you don't have an influential brand. If you've not built influence, if nobody is saying, come and do this, I want to give you this, you don't have a brand. No, let me tell you. You are just starting your journey.
Stretch Street Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are watching from. Thank you so much for being patient with us today. I know we're a bit late. Even LinkedIn was like, guys, are you coming live or not? You have 5 minutes to come live or we'll disconnect you. We are so sorry. We had some technical issues we had to fix, but we're here now. How are you doing? Let me know in the comment section if you can hear me. I hope you can. And if you can hear me and you're on LinkedIn, say hi in the comment section. If you're on Instagram, you can say hi as well. Thank you, Mr. Harry, the experience. Henry of Lagos, I see you on Instagram. Thank you so much. Jesse, thank you so much for joining Stretch Street Podcast. I see you. Thank you, everyone. We are glad to be back again this week on Your Voice, Your Impact. You already know how it goes here, but because we've spent a bit of time in getting things set up today, we're not going to go into too much, what's happening last weekend. We are okay. Our weekend was fine, all right? So we're just going to dive straight into the conversation. And today we have two lovely guests with us, two beautiful coaches, one from the US, one from Sweden. So it's a whole global stage this afternoon. Without further ado, I'm going to bring up all our guests on the stage just so that we can dive into the topic today, talking about execution. Execution, which is the only thing between you and your dream. That statement is kind of bold. You're like, is it the only thing? But actually, it's almost like the only thing, because no matter how you think about it, if you don't act, no matter how great your idea is or your ideas are, if you don't take the steps to execute on them, it's not going to happen. All right. Thank you so much for the response. Okay, I'm glad you're good. We are good. So we're going to dive into the conversation right away. I am going to bring up our guests now, starting off with my co-host so that she can say hi, and then we'll bring up our guests. Hello, Grace. How are you?
Hi. I love this topic. Today's topic is my favorite, so I love it. I can't wait for our guests to jump in so that we can dissect, destroy, do anyhow, and help someone out there today. So let's do it.
Fantastic. Awesome. So I'm bringing up on stage 𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗥 all the way from Sweden. Hello, Coach 𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗥. What's up? How you doing?
Good afternoon, energetic EJ. I surely felt that energy. E for energy. Yes. E for EJ. Good afternoon, Coach Grace. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here with you ladies this afternoon.
You are welcome. Thank you so much. And last but not the least, we have all the way from the US, Coach Ifeoma Ukabiala.
Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. From wherever you're dialing into this channel, thank you so much for what you all are doing here. Thank you. Coach 𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗥, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Awesome. Okay, welcome.
Grace,
welcome,
Coach.
everyone.
I love your energy on this show.
Thank you. Abiodun,
Okay.
good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Abiodun Daramola, thank you for joining.
Yeah, I'm glad LinkedIn comments is showing now. So please put in your comments. The comments on Instagram won't show, with the StreamYard does not have that yet, but I'll be reading it and I'll be looking at it and coming on to just say, I see you. Coach Walaka, I see you. I'm excited to see you. We're excited to see you too. Eager to listen to you all. Fantastic. Let's do this. So today we're talking about execution. When the word execution comes, because English words sometimes there's plenty. While I was trying to make the post today on Instagram, I love to try to have a music, especially when I'm making picture posts. I love to have music in the background, right? And so in choosing the music from the list, I'll try to pick a word from what I'm trying to say to see if it will rhyme. So I was looking for execution. When I put execution, some things I was seeing like execution, like I was like, no, it's not that one I'm talking about. It's not the execution. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about executing on your goals, right? Until I found an affirmation that goes with it. Like, I'm going to take action. I'm going to be deliberate about the things that I want to. Like, yes, this is in alignment with what we want to talk about today. Okay, let's open the floor. Coach Ifeoma is execution. I know what's the executionist. She specializes in execution, project management and things like that. Coach 𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗥 too. Grace has told me that when it comes to execution, even if you wake her up in the dead of the night, she will give you blows on this topic. So I want to open the floor with you ladies. Like when you think about the word execution, what comes to mind? What is the first thing that comes to mind that you'd like to have anybody, who is here watching us right now say, calm down, I have this for you. Sit and wait, because something good is about to drop from this conversation.
Okay.
You can jump on it. Coach Ifeoma, okay. Coach B, any one of you can jump on it.
That's fine. Let me try to go first. Now, execution is basically the act of successfully translating ideas into actionable steps, and then following through with them. Yes, that's simple execution. But you find out that that's where a lot of us are stuck. That's where a lot of individuals are stuck. Now, if I ask you a simple question, and if I ask anybody, let's say somebody suffering with weight loss, and I ask the person, typically they will tell you what to do, because there's a lot of data out there. There's a lot of information out there to tell you, and they've seen people. But however, you see that maybe 100 plus kg person, the person is not losing weight, but you sit with the person already tells you, I need to watch my calories, I need to do this, I need to do that.
Right.
But why is the person not doing it? And a lot of us are stuck there. I'll go further to add into that definition. Execution bridges the gap between what we aspire to achieve and what we actually do. Yes.
I love that.
So execution, I want to go further to add to strategy. Execution is how and when. Strategy is what and why. I know why I'm trying to add all these things together. It will help us understand better. If I add some data there, 8% of people are the only people able to achieve their goals. The problem is usually an execution problem. Usually. I don't like to generalize, however, and the problem is usually an execution problem. Could be
problem. Yeah.
I was enjoying you, please. I was just enjoying us connecting with you. Okay. Thank you very much for that exposition. And when you were giving that example, it reminded me of how I came to be the monetization queen. Okay, just a few recap summary of who I am and what I do. As you can see, my name is Coach 𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗥 and I am a monetization expert. And I know that sounds like Google, but it's not. It's basically bringing out what's between your ears, creating transformational offers, products, services with it, and making money from doing what you love doing, your purpose, what you're called for. So I bring it out, create the offers, monetize it, transform lives. Basically, that's what I do. But I didn't start there, because I like to say that when it comes to 4 M's, that's the expert area of my life: monetization, marketing, money mindset, and manifestation. But I didn't start with all of that. I was a regular digital marketer on the internet. I had my online stores on Shopify, on Amazon, and I was a top seller. I was based in Nigeria, in Lagos, just there running online stores that are doing incredibly well from my bedroom in Lagos. And so one time, Shopify had a competition, and I entered and I won. And I was in a close community with some of the world's best digital marketers. World's best. And so when I won, I shared it on my Facebook wall. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I won with these guys. So I got a lot of entrepreneurs coming to meet me saying, can you help me with my business? Can you tell me what to do to make sales? I got so much. I got like over 300 requests in a day.
Wow.
So I, being the kind of person that like to help people, I started helping them, and I was helping them, and I was helping them. And I realized two things. You know, being a digital marketer, we chew on data, we take decisions on data. It's either these people that I helped went on to blow up their sales online, or they didn't take the action. That is, they did not execute to get it. And so for me, I was perplexed. You say you want more money. You say you want more sales. You say you want to grow your business. And we are telling you, do this. But you're not doing it. Why? What's wrong with you? Do you really want more money? You know me, I'm just like an action person. And then I was shocked. That was when I realized that, oh my God, there is a software in the hardware of the entrepreneur that controls them and actually accelerates or decelerates their rate of execution. And that was how I
Please, rewind.
Say that again.
There is a software,
a program that is inside the body, the hardware of the entrepreneur that runs, and it influences whether they accelerate execution or they decelerate, irrespective of their desire, their goals, irrespective of their economic reality, irrespective of their geographical location, irrespective of what they are praying and they're scabashing about. You see a lot of people praying, having 1 million types of journals, writing to-do lists, having the connection, the degrees, the certification. Why are you not doing what you know you're supposed to do? As Coach Ifeoma said, you know you should lose weight, you should watch your calories, you should work out. Then what is it in you
that is
decelerating? That's why I went into coaching. Because I needed to know how to handle that. You know, so she's so on point that, you know, for me, I like money, and money loves me. We have a loving relationship. I don't know why you would want abundance and you are told to do something and you don't do it. That's the power of execution. So in actual sense, we cannot talk about execution without talking about the mindset, the software that drives the person.
Exactly. That is, I'm telling you, please go for it. Pour it out.
You know, and you know, this is always the case. You know, when you throw nuggets like this, we would break it into granules. And that is why. So if you're just watching this is the first time you're watching this is your voice, your impact, where we bring seasoned people. Think that you in your 4 or 5 years in school, you won't get it like this. So go and call your friends and call anybody that you love to come and listen, because we're going to be breaking it down so that if you have been dulling and you've been telling yourself stories, this is the time to take action. So the question I want to ask you now is, and this is to Coach Ifeoma, you talked about strategy. You talked about before execution, there are certain things, strategy and all that. And Coach Bemi just hit the nail in the head by letting us know that there's a software that you need to activate. So in your own, in your words, how would you be able to tell someone that's stuck right now, the person knows what to do, but the person is just there. I have all this information, but you're not doing anything. If you're to talk to that person right now, what would you say to that person? And what are the steps that you tell that person to take to help them, get to work?
Make a move.
Okay. So thank you for that question, and thank you, When you can move ahead with anything in life without having that mindset. There's something called a mindset of execution, and it contains several key characteristics, which luckily, if you're able to work with an integrative coach, if you don't have it, if you're able to work with a coach like me, like myself, we would be able to help you translate your invisible to visible, as Tony Robbins will say it. And we can do it for organizations, we can do it for individuals. Now, to answer your question, what will you do? I would also go back to my story and how I got into coaching. I worked with an international IOC for like 30 years. And
Wow.
yes, and my area of expertise is project management, any form of project management. So I would tell you that everything ends up in a project.
Yeah.
I even developed a burial template. That's how burial template when my father died, and that's what we're using. People were using after me for
Wow.
So it's everything is a project to me. My children will tell you that. Anybody that knows will tell you that. So basically, how do you do it? I have what we call an execution intervention program, and it's basically 3 P's. You work with the 3 P's are people, process, projects. And for people, we have to sit down and find out what your why is. Try to help you create the goal. Try to help you see one key thing is, what are the obstacles that are stopping you from achieving what you want to achieve? Because like we all said, when he said, we know, many of us know what to do. May not be clear, but many of us know what to do. So basically, first of all, find out what the person's obstacles are, and that's what will typically happen in our session with various kind of assessments, and then understand the process or program the person is running. And that's why she brought Coach when we brought that up. Understand what the person is running, and then try to give the person interventions on what will help the person stop running those programs or help the person. Sometimes it's just about focus. Sometimes it's clarity. A lot of people, they don't have a clear understanding of what needs to be done and why it is important. Sometimes it's focus. They are not able to prioritize and concentrate on what is the critical things they need to do at that point in time. Sometimes it's accountability.
Yeah.
They themselves are not taking ownership. And they don't have other people helping them take ownership. They may lack resilience. Once they face obstacles, maybe the first obstacle, they give up, forgetting that failure is good for all of us. Forgetting all that. Some people are just not adaptable. They're not open to adjusting their plans, and that's when you start talking about people with fixed mindset. I need to talk about procrastination, because there are different kinds of procrastination. Some people are perfectionists. That's where I struggle. But I have what helps me. I now know that, so I work against it. I have perfectionists. Like before I started out being a coach, I wanted to go and take all the courses in this world. Do you understand? Meanwhile, I knew, but I just need to take that step, and Coach Gwemi helped me, So those are some of the things. You need to have a growth mindset. And then one key thing I like to put in this thing is passion. Passion. You can't, because that's what gives rise to that energy. Passion is energy. Passion is that intrinsic motivation that you need to have,
Right.
So I think I'll stop that and let Coach Weni take a stab at this answer too.
Beautiful. Yeah, you
Thank
can go. I would ask Coach Bemi another question. That if after energetic, if she's going after energetic, if you have another question to ask, if you want to go ahead with the question, if not, then
I think you can go ahead. You can go ahead. It's
Okay.
been,
All right. So I loved what you said, Coach Iboma, when you mentioned, that intrinsic motivation,
Energy.
something that was energy. Coach Bemi, this field is what we offer. I mean, what some coaches offer in this area, it's intangible. People want, when you tell people to come for coaching or come to be helped or learn, or they'll tell you, so you're the monetization queen. We'll talk about that, right? But before somebody accepts that mentality, that this your idea that you want to sell, that you have to monetize it to become something tangible to sell, there is that part which I would hold on, that somebody watching this now, the person has there's that idea already in your head and you're thinking of how to monetize. That's the execution part. But before we get to that part, there are people that are self-motivated. There are people that they need something around them to motivate them to do certain things. In your own opinion, what do you think can help one to move from a state of, now when I dey motivated, I go do am. When I no dey motivated, I no go do am. How would you help as a coach to help someone, talking about motivation and discipline, putting all of those ingredients together to help someone out there that is only motivated when the environment is conducive?
Thank you so much, Coach Grace, for that. When I was a newbie coach, I used to be so fascinated with that question you just asked. I used to lose sleep over it. I used to wake up in the middle of the night to think about it. I'm telling you, that question you asked is very deep. Because if you truly love people, you want people to transform. You want people to be fishermen, not give them fishes. You want people to attain their next level in their career, in their relationship, in their health. You want the best for people. And that's connected to your purpose. And you're living your purpose. Then it hurts you when people live subpar, below how they should be living.
Potential.
That question you asked will come to your mind. What's wrong with you? I've motivated you, but motivation is temporary.
No.
Inspiration is permanent. And
Say that again.
Motivation is temporary. I can motivate anybody right now that is watching. Oh, you feel the goosebumps. But when we leave, what happens 3 days' time? You'll fade. It's external. What causes change is inspiration. It's a spark from inside of you. For not wanting the norm, for wanting to go to the next level, for desiring more. But, Coach Grace, I have written a thesis to myself and done research and have had hundreds of clients, gone through thousands of hours in coaching session. And I can categorically answer that question that you asked by telling you that you cannot help anybody who is not ready to help themselves.
Wow.
It's impossible. That is why as a coach, people have to reach out to you, not you reaching out to them. And when they reach out, when they are ready for the next readiness, becoming. You don't just become. Becoming is in phases. Sometimes you get ready. Some people have been for FD's coaching, they've been for TC's coaching, they're still going, learning this, right? It's not useless. No, it's not. It's a stage of getting ready, to be ready. Eventually, you will get to the point where you'll be like, I need to take action. I need to execute all the knowledge that I'm having. and I get results because the time is now and my time has come. Those are the only people that inspiration can open up for them and cause a transformation. But at the point where they are still drunk on motivation, you will hear things like, will it work for me? You will hear things, I can't afford it. I don't have this time. All these coaches serve, inspire to perspire. You would hear a lot of things coming up. And what I've come to learn is that the things that come up for people like that, they're usually of two categories. The thing itself is called resistance.
Yeah.
Irrespective of your desires.
Yeah.
But these resistances are unconscious. It's an unconscious drive that we don't even know that we are operating, and it's giving us the same results. So sometimes when an individual hits a very, very tough life experience, perhaps they lost a job, or they had multiple failed investments, or they have a health crisis, right? Perhaps their teenage child is misbehaving or something. Then they start to ask themselves, who am I? Why am I here? Or they lose a close one. They're like, oh my God, I can die at any time. Of course, death is the only thing I promise. We're all going to die, you know? And then you're like, why am I here? Why am I really here? Oh, this is my purpose. This is my identity. But why am I not doing it? Because I'm having all these 1,000,001 excuses. Okay, but what can I do? I need help. I don't know how. Then you go to a coach. You are going to get results, right? But it's not until we hit rock bottom, because that's a practice. We are used to something going wrong before we fix things. And that's why we're having this conversation. So if you're watching right now, you're like, okay, oh my God. No, don't wait until something happens. Experience is the most expensive teacher. And like I said, those resistance, they always come in two forms. It's either it's trauma, something that has happened in the past, right? Trauma. Or it is a block. So for people, they had a traumatic childhood. Perhaps they lost a parent earlier, or things were not okay financially, and then they keep going and going to the point where they're like, no, I have to change, right? I need a coach. Or they had things very sweet. Then they got to their adult life where they thought they knew it all, and they had maybe a very stressful marriage. Maybe they went through abuse. Maybe they went through financial loss. You know, things like, they're like, okay. For some people, they had it all sweet. They've now gotten to the managerial level of their career. They want to crack that upper echelon of managerial role. They've done everything they've learned in business schools, in their masters. It's not working. Then they realize, what's going on? I want to be a VVIP in my career. I want to sit on that board. And then they find out that this is the resistance, is a block. So for some people, if it's not trauma, that's a type of block. There are many types of trauma.
Right.
There are blocks, like their beliefs, their limiting thoughts. You know, it can be that they lack accountability, as Coach Ifeoma said. They lack productivity techniques. They have limiting beliefs. They don't have clarity. You know, things like that always affects them. So most of the time I tell people to check, is it a trauma or is it a block? If it's a trauma. If it is a block, what type of block? That would then lead us to internal actionable steps that will rewire their subconscious mind and propel inspiration to happen, spark inspiration from inside, which will now give us the steps that we'll now execute in real life.
I love it. And this is why coaching is truly different from every other practices. It's not therapy. It's not counseling. It's not advice. And it is pretty tailor-made. And I think this is something that a lot of people still don't understand and they can't grasp. And that's why I love when you said in your early days of coaching and how you link that to say it's always a matter of becoming and becoming and becoming. And I was just, as I hear all of you speak, as I hear you all speak, I realized I think I am the youngest here when it comes to coaching, right? Because all of you have years. I'm just 15 months in actively. Like when I accepted my calling, okay, we're doing this. It's been actively 15 months, right? And I can literally imagine, the journey that has brought you women to this point in the activity, in actively serving, to become so refined. And you see, people don't still grasp it. Like, and again, because it's as with any industry. And right now it's looking like coaching is the main, is the in thing. Everybody now, I'm a coach this, coach that. But people are missing the intrinsic, value that coaching brings. Grace. So we had this conversation last week as well, and it was all coaching. We were all coaches on the call as well. I went back, as I was scheduling this, I saw like 11 comments by the same person. And I think as the person was watching the replay, he was just asking questions about what we were saying, and it's like, is it only people that have problem that should look for coaches? Like, it's not only people that are not successful that should be getting coaching. I'm like, no, even successful people, at every point, we have blind spots.
Especially
Yes.
successful people.
And that's what exactly Coach Bemi just talked about. Like, that block. It's not because you're not successful. Like, as a matter of fact, when people are counting, people that are just probably coming up, they'll be questioning, like, Auntie, what exactly do you want? You have everything going for you. What are you looking for again? But it is you that knows that, see, this is the echelon that I want to be. And it's looking like everything that I already know is not working. What is going on? And at that point is when you need the coach to remove that block. Or maybe, like Coach Bemi says, it could be a response to trauma, And so I say all of this to say that for anyone watching or listening, and even if you're going to be watching this later on, I need you to understand that coaching is such a peculiar practice that is needed by everyone from every sphere of life. And it is pretty much customized to each person. And like Coach Bemi said, like when you said, when we talk to each client, that's when we decide what kind of block. Is it block or is it trauma? Even at that, okay, is it trauma? If it's trauma, what type of trauma? So that we know which path to take. If it's block, what kind of block? So that we know what path to take. So people with similar issues can speak to the same coach and they will have different pathways to tackling their issues, right? So let's bring it back to the execution talk. I love how you've mentioned, for some people it's lack of clarity, lack of accountability, lack of inspiration, high on motivation because I think every time they're taking motivational dose, but it's not leading them to taking the action. What practical step can somebody, if you want to dash them 5 minute coaching session now, to say, okay, you are high on motivation, you don't like what can this person do to touch that software you mentioned at the beginning, to maybe whether it's kickstart it or spark it, how you can spark something up. What is there anything as such? I know that is a journey, but is there that first step that will get them into motion, that will now make them hunger to go for more?
Okay, so if I'm going to take a stab at that, I like how Coach Bemi brought out that all those limiting beliefs, because that's if you use the 3 Ps. So when you talk about when you're dealing with people or the process they are running, it's still around that limiting belief. Many of us form what we form. Our environment, nature, nurture us. We've already, sometimes there are things that are stopping us from being the best version of ourselves, from programs we inherited from either our parents or growing up, or things that happened to us. They're basically like somebody suffering from fear of speaking in public. Something may have been told to the person in the past. I can't do this. I can't do this. So the minute somebody comes into your coach, and I like how Coach when you said it, you can't help somebody that does not want to be helped, because sometimes you have to deal, and that's where integrative coaching comes. Therapy deals with the past. Coaching takes you from where you are now to where you need to be. So, and that's where integrative comes. So there's a bit of some things you can help the person do. One key one I like to use, I think that works well with at least most people have dealt with, is to help them elicit their success factor.
What's that?
Yes. And that's everybody has succeeded in something. Yes. Yes. Everybody, you have succeeded in something. So if you're able to get past getting the goals, the actual goal the person wants, but you still see that limiting belief, or you see a limiting belief, and I can't do this. So you try to get the person's success model. And how do you do that? You ask the person, I can do that with you. So think of something you've done very well in the past. And the person thinks about it. And then I ask you, what did you do to succeed in that particular task? Yeah. And because the answer really resides with you. Your answer is not my answer. Coach Ghewemi's answer is not my answer.
Yeah.
And your answer is not my answer. So when you help them through that and they write it down, and then you tell them, okay, you now continue and ask them, okay, this thing you want to do, how do you think, using the various coaching models, you make them write 3 things they've succeeded. You will now go back and tell them, tell me what you did. Okay, use this formula now to see if you can succeed on this one. Many times barriers go off because we all have the way we succeed. If I want to execute something, I have to think about it. I have to make a plan. I have to fit that plan into my schedule. I have to follow my schedule daily. I have to. But one thing with me, if I'm not clear on the plan, I'm stuck. So if I take it to a project management situation, which is why organizations also fail, when their plan does not align with their strategy, or when you're doing plan, many times people do plans or do strategy, which is planning, and it doesn't have head or tail. It fails even before, and that's what fail. So that's one of the fastest things I kind of do, helping them elicit their success model. Now, what it does, it gives them hope. It begins to break down that obstacle that exists. It gives them hope. Continue while you keep working on other things.
Right. I love that. I love that.
I have a question for Coach Ghewemi, and this is from what the limitless. Her name is not. I should be calling her the limitless Ifeoma, because I like that. You know how you said something about being perfect. I've worked with certain people that the only problem is they want things perfect before they start. Now, somebody has been waiting for that thing to be perfect for 4 years now.
I've seen 20 years, my sister. It breaks my heart.
This particular message, Coach Ghewemi, you're the monetization queen, and monetization, to monetize something, to put something into money. Into a program where people buy, is where many people are stuck. They are brilliant, and some of these people, they are very brilliant. They are very smart. Ideas,
creative people, multi-potential lights. Please help us.
Do you understand? So I have seen, and this is where this conversation is very critical, because some people they are in a mess. They are going into depression because they are talented, they are smart, they have everything, but they are still not where they should be. Now, I want us to highlight some points, which I'm sure you already know from your experience working with people. But this perfectionist syndrome, how can you help someone that is stuck in their perfect mindset, that it has to be perfect for them to launch out? It has to be on point. While that is a very good thing, what can you say to someone that is in that space That's the first question. And secondly, what can you tell someone that needs to move on now? They have the idea, they know what to do, but how to go about it. So 2 questions in one. I want you to help someone. This is going to also help some of us. And I want you to hit it. And then we know we'll come and meet you for coaching, especially.
I'm suspecting that you are the one that has perfectionism syndrome.
No, I don't. No, you can tell I don't. No, me. See, let me tell you, as a physicist, let me quickly drop down one. I understand the first law of motion. And I understand that pushing a body continues to be in a state of rest until an external force. I have that ingrained in my head already. So I just need to put the force, put the energy, put it and move. I don't have perfection. I'm asking because, like I said, I've worked with people that when I now call the alpha now, it's not yet perfect. It's not, okay, let's be waiting for it. Let's wait. It's not a problem. It's just probably how, so I want us to help them now because it is keeping a lot of people from launching out, from starting their own online video, YouTube page, and all of that. So I need you to help someone.
But let me just ask you the question right back. Coaches, we work with questions. So somehow the questions will just come like that. Even if you want to mentor, you want to teach, you want to lecture, the question will shall come. And then you just be like, you just have to ask this question, please. So it's doing me like that, like to ask you right back in true African question. You ask
let's do it.
Okay, so you've worked with people who don't want to launch out because they have this perfectionism streak around them.
Yes.
If you picture one of them, right?
Yeah.
Or just put yourself in their shoes and you think about it like their greatest fear, why they want to be perfect. What's the greatest fear that they have that is driving that perfectionism? Like if it's not perfect, what's the worst thing that can happen for them that they will not like, that will really make them
people will laugh at them. People will laugh at them.
What else will they feel? What emotion will it bring? If
Shame,
it's
guilt,
shame.
I like it. Oh, okay.
So what else? What else? Let's be empathetic and look at it. It's not perfect, it's coming out. And they're the kind of person that pay attention to things. When
details.
They do things, they do it well. Yes, they pay attention to details, but this time around, they are not paying attention to detail. What's the worst that their brain is?
And they don't embrace mistakes. They don't embrace mistakes. They don't think they should make mistakes. Because they don't think they should make mistakes.
They don't make mistakes. They are articulate. So why don't they want to make mistakes? If a mistake happens, what emotions do they feel? Shame. That's a powerful vibration on the energy scale. Guilt is a powerful vibration on the energy scale. It is a powerful, it's very low, but it's very potent. It's low, but it's very potent. If you
like the subwoofer,
it's here. It takes. Have you ever been in a shameful situation? Your stomach will churn as if you want to stool.
Guts.
Did you eat something? No. But your stomach will churn. Your body will be warm. It is driving them. Why? Because they probably had a trauma. They may not have gone through shame. Maybe their parents said, you must be perfect. You must be perfect. You are not perfect. You end up like this. And that morphed into their subconscious mind. Therefore, when they grow and they do things, their success model, let me take it back to Coach Ifeoma, is to pay attention to details, to be 100% articulate, to launch and to get it. And that's why they are where they are today. Because they built it on details. Now you're telling them to let's go.
They need to lean into their strengths.
Have they practiced it? No. As a matter of fact, if they're not in sync with how you are telling them to apply Newton's first law of motion, they will fail. It becomes a failure model automatically.
For them.
Because sometimes you have success model, you have failure model. I like the strategy Coach Ifeoma just taught us. I use it for some clients. I don't use it to. I will tell them, go write down 50 things that will go wrong if you don't achieve this goal.
Because
negativity.
they see the push and pull.
I may lose my
if
job.
Something is not pulling you, something is pushing you.
It's pushing you. You can't be at the same spot at the same time. Another Newton's third law of motion. That's the third law of motion I just quoted there.
Yeah.
Right? So now Go and write down 50 things. You lose your job. Management will ridicule you. Your result. By the time you start, when you get to number 20 something, they start sweating. Because why? Shame and guilt has been introduced and is a powerful motivator or demotivator.
Demotivator.
Wow.
So that is the reason behind perfectionism. So now that we have now understood the reason why some people are perfect, the only thing we need to do is to eliminate shame and guilt. And so what is, because when you experience shame and guilt, what happens? It morphs into self-humiliation. If your project goes wrong, you didn't go wrong. You are not the one going through shame. You are not the one humiliated, but it morphs into self. You embody it. And you say, I was humiliated. No, I failed. No, it's the project that failed. There's a difference between you and your project. Just because one failed,
tweetable moment. Tweetable moment. Hey,
you understand? So,
yes,
so we need to change their perspective and let you see. I'm not coming at you. I like your perfectionism. I want to learn your perfectionism. It's your success model. It's always worked for you. See, it's what brought you to this level. It made you have a lot of money to be able to even afford me. Wow. I'm impressed with you. I love it. But this new next level of abundance that you're approaching, it requires you to grow. And when you're growing, you are coming out of a Coke bottle. It's not easy. You have to learn new things. You have to grow new brain neurons to support your next level identity. And one of the things that you have to learn is that spontaneity can also bring success. If it fails, what's the worst that can happen? Then you see the person start saying that if it fails, okay, it's no longer shame. I'm learning. I now see failure as a learning curve. But more importantly, when we are talking about humiliation, we are talking about shame that is morphing into self-humiliation. The human being has to know, they have to know that they have to know. The number one person they need to be loyal to is themselves. Because antidote to humiliation. When you are loyal to yourself, nobody can shame you. Nobody.
When you are loyal to yourself, let me type that one. Nobody can shame you.
When you are loyal to your principles, when you are loyal to your non-negotiables, if that's even if you know what your principles and your non-negotiables are, okay, nobody can shame you. So that's the first thing the individual needs to know. Now, when you know that, it helps you to change perspective and lets you see that even if I fail, it's the project that failed. I did not fail. And I'll use it as a learning and teachable moment. On that note, I'm going to ask them to create three levels for their goal. The first one is BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goal. So what's your big, hairy, audacious goal? You know me, I'm a money coach. I also do a lot of executive coaching. I'm a certified business coach by European Mentoring and Coaching Commission. So, and I'm also a life coach, a therapist. I'm integrative, right? But usually when I work with people, they will say, oh, my big goal is this. Put it down. That's fine. But I know they will not do it. You know why? Because their new identity is a baby. It's just nothing. I'm just creating that new identity. So you are now giving me the goal of a giant. No problem. Put it down. That's fine. I need to embody that identity. When I ask you for your regular, your mid-level goal, from that big one, we'll come down to maybe about 50%. And then I'll now ask you, this is where we are going. You know you're a perfectionist. You like to see the full 9 yards before you take action. Now we've created the full 9 yards. We've created the middle part. But what's the one thing you can do every day to honor yourself? To feel that self-loyalty, to honor your principle as a person that sets goals and achieve it, to honor that new identity that you're forming. What's the small thing that you can do every day that if you do it at the end of 30 days, you would have gotten to your first milestone? I'm not going to tell you. You will write it down. When you write it down, I'll keep you accountable to that 30 days. It is inevitable. It is law. You will get it.
So just to add, so just to add to what Kudwemi had just said, the power of routine. When you look at people's routine, you're able to say, and that's one of the things I try to do when we get to this stage. What is your routine?
Right.
You need, because your routine and the actions you take every day will
what
help
it
us know whether you're going to achieve that. Now, one key thing, we talked about perfection is the kind of procrastination. Now, I don't know whether we're going to get to that, but I thought to throw that out here. The answer to procrastination is, I just love that Nike quote. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. I just love that Nike quote. I know that there might be things, and so that's where the coach tries to work on your limiting beliefs, on your values, on just basically trying to talk about your identity and your purpose. I find out that also that people, when they come out and they know why they are here on earth. In fact, this execution, you can't finish this topic in one day.
In one session, right?
In one session, yeah. Because it morphs to sometimes when people find out why they are on this earth, they are even able to execute. When you help them. So it's not one size fits all.
Right.
And that's where a coach comes in. It's sometimes I wonder why organizations wait till somebody fails before they get a coach.
Employ the service.
I wonder why HR departments should have the HR professionals, the culture experts, and also life coaches, because it improves performance.
Exactly.
We need now that you mentioned this, because I think they say innovation, or is the something is the mother of innovation.
Is the mother of innovation.
The necessity is the mother of innovation. So I think if they know better, they will do better. So I think it's something that will continue to push out that narrative that coaches should be part of organizations. Yeah, go ahead.
Although we have it in the UK and US, but it's just that the rampant.
Yeah, I'll use myself as an example. I became a first line supervisor more than 20 years ago. I really started off very early, and I retired from So the minute they were going to make me a first line supervisor, that was when I did my first coaching certification, and then they chose me as one of the people they attacked a coach to. I must not fail as a leader, especially I was termed the high flyer then. So you must not fail. So why do you now hire the best and then you let them fail? You want to deal with performance, people below par, instead of getting a team coach to help them. You look, the people that have gotten it right, the athletes, the singers, the musicians, right. So I think there's something in narrative that needs to we need to keep pushing. Yeah.
Right.
And I also think that not everyone can. In fact, I insist that you have learned life coaching, or you've gone through the process of becoming a life coach. You don't necessarily have to be a coach. Because I also, it's a question I want to ask you, because when we talk around here, we push the coaching narrative a lot. So some people might now say, okay, I must now be a coach because I want to do better, So I want you to talk about how learning or even getting that particular skill is going to be relevant in your own personal life. I'm throwing it out there to someone that's there saying that, okay, so if I go and get certified, must I now be practicing? No, coaching is not for everybody. In fact,
that's
when we did coaching, we were many. And many years later, I asked them, if I said, no, I'm not practicing, so I'm doing my job. But it's helping me in my job. So I want you to speak to that. What the benefits of equipping yourself with that tool?
So I started off, okay, coach, maybe them are really the coaches. I'm a consultant.
I like that.
But I am a consultant, but I'm a consultant with a difference, because I have the coaching skill. I can use consultancy to get the job, and it's my mentor. my mentor, Larry Olushola, you can use consultancy to get the job. However, it's coaching that will keep that job inside. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is, yes, I started, maybe you know now when I started this coaching thing, but I call myself, if you notice in my introduction to you, I said, I am execution intervention specialist. All it means is, yes, all it means is I can help you help yourself as a coach. I can help you turn that thing you want to do as a project, execute it as a project manager. I can help you and I'm very good at putting processes. If I come into a place, whether it's a party you're having in your house and the food is not coming out, or an offshore plant, which is my expertise, is offshore installation of pipelines, of greenfield projects, of brownfield projects. However, and also culture building. Those are my expertise. Yeah. So whether is the coaching part which brings empathy, which shows you understand people, and then with the NLP and EFT, you will help yourself. But the key, one final thing I want to say is, when you go in for coaching, like when I went in, I did my life coaching several places. I'm also a 𝗬𝗢𝗪𝗏 certified executive coach. 𝗬𝗢𝗪𝗏, yeah. He's actually the best executive coach in the world right now. Yeah, so I consult off with them. Yeah. Then I did my life coaching with Larry Olushola, OLCA. You cannot beat it. You cannot beat. He's the mind transformation person, because several of our parents come from that. So I went in there when I retired. I was going through a family, there was a personal issue I had, and then I had a surgery that was botched in Nigeria. So I went in there. I went in there for just to learn myself. Remember, I had finished, retired. So 3 life-changing things happened to me.
Right.
Yeah, he told me to do the coaching. I was like, no, I don't need coach. He said, do coaching. Help you first. It was after I did it. Now I tell people, come and learn yourself first. Remember, I went to the top of my career in Exxon. Yeah. And I had led people. By God's grace, there are some things that I knew. But I'll tell you that it was when I took that coaching class with an integrative coach like Larry, I knew some things about myself. So that awareness, how you're limiting beliefs, those are the things that you will help. So that's very important. So you know yourself first. You know how to help others. Do you understand? Coach.
Right.
Okay. You know how to help others. So you cannot, right now, even my children or anybody around me that is having marital problem or anything, I'm like, come and learn yourself first. And then let's know where your problem is from. Because the thing with coaching, the coaching skills, it helps you with listening. It helps you
mind shift.
It helps you mind shift your head. The problem you had before, maybe you're running the program, your mother ran. I sat with a client the other day, a good girl from a good background. She's in the marriage. By the time I finished the assessment, I found out that she was running her mother's program. Meanwhile, her mother married a good man. She married a narcissist. How is that program supposed to help her? So one of the things I encouraged her to do was to come in for that coaching.
Learn herself.
I encouraged her because I didn't want to help. She needed to leave that marriage. But of course, it needs to come from her. So some of the things I helped her do, apart from her action item, was can you just do one thing for me? Come for a coaching class. Know yourself first. and then you begin to help make the decision for the person. Coaching, EFT, NLP. Today, actually, this happened last year. Sorry. Today, if you see this babe, even her health has changed. Yes. She has a
That's
video.
just the power. That's the power of coaching. I love it. And the thing with coaching is it's a science. So it's bound to it's science, it's proven, it will work. That's why even as fresh coaches, we know it. We don't necessarily, it's not like an exam that you are feeling to enter a session. No, but you trust the coaching process so much that you know that no matter what this person is bringing, we're going to get to the bottom somehow, because it's a process. It is scientifically proven. And that I love it when you said come. So this is us inviting you. We're not saying you should come and become a coach so that you can practice it. No, but you need it even for yourself. For yourself. Learn the principles of it, because it would help you in getting results, in understanding yourself, in becoming more aware, in becoming more confident, to then take that next step that you need to turn your life around. It's been an amazing conversation today. And like you mentioned, it's like this topic cannot be exhausted in one session. I've even had comments coming in from LinkedIn to say, 𝗬𝗢𝗪, thank you so much for putting this together. Somebody said, please help me thank your panelists. Says, thank you, 𝗬𝗪𝗪, for inviting me to this session on execution. Please thank your panel of guests. It was a great informative session. But she had to go, she had to leave, because actually we even exhausted our normal 1 hour. But that is that's good. That's a good feedback right there. So again, thank you so much, Coach Gbemi. Last minute, thank you for coming through. Thank you, Coach Ifeoma, for doing it still. Yes. See how great.
Thank you for encouraging me to do it, because what was coming out then was that my perfectionism. That was what was coming out. That was thank you. Thank you so much.
We're glad you made it. And thank you, Gracie, as well. Any final word as to just say goodbye to everyone? Thank you for everyone who is on LinkedIn as well. Coach Walaka, I thank you. Says, really love this. I'm glad you do love it. I'm going to put up the they said it's a master class. Thank you so much for that feedback. We're going to have the replays on LinkedIn.
Subscribe, share, and reshare. If you love someone, this is a gift to them. This particular one is a gift to them.
Absolutely. So please share once we drop it on the replays to somebody. If you're watching on YouTube, you can share the link and send. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll also attach the YouTube link on my story, so you can go and rewatch it or send that link to people to watch it. And for LinkedIn, it's still right there. Thank you so much, Madam Abiodun Daramola. I think we see your comment. He said the statement of software and hardware is profound. Thank you so very much. All right, this is it. I think it's time to say goodbye. This was such a fantastic session. Please, let's do it again soon. You ladies are on fire. Even me, bless him, now master class, I don't want to talk again. I don't want to be looking at people like, please give us as it's hot thing. Thank you so much. God bless you. I wish you all a very fantastic rest of the week. And hopefully we're going to do this again soon together. All right, Coach Grace, are you there? I think you're frozen. Okay, I think she's frozen. All right. For the goal, one for the road. Anything coming through?
Keep executing. Keep taking action.
Fantastic.
Keep taking action. And if you need help, the best thing you can do to yourself is get coaching support. Honestly, that's the best gift to self.
Absolutely. So when I drop the replay on Instagram, I'm going to tag everyone so that you can reach out to the coaches if you need to work with any of us. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Okay, sorry. For me, it's just go, just do it. Nike has told us, as you're wearing that Nike shoe, just go and do that thing. Take one step. One step is better than 0 step every day. When you compound it.
Absolutely. Compounding. Oh my God. That's another topic on its own. But please don't run from us. So when we come again and say, please come back, don't say no, please. But I'm telling you ahead of time now, because we're going to come back for more. Thank you for being here today. Really appreciate it. All right, guys. So we'll come your way again next week with another fantastic discussion to help you as well as encourage you. See, you also have a story. You have a voice. And there's something, I love it. I think it was, yes, Coach Bemi that said there is something you are successful at. Like there is definitely
Was
something you're
Coach
successful
Ifeoma
at.
that said it? Yes.
It was Coach Ifeoma that said it. Fantastic.
Yes.
There is something you are successful at, though. That thing can be the one that opens you up to more success, right? So your voice, your impact is here, and we're welcoming to you. If you're afraid of doing it alone, come and do it with us. Let us help you open that door. Come and share your story. Come and share your expertise on the platform and be a blessing to many others. God bless you. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.